Hey friends, welcome to Homeschool-ology. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Nikki. I'm a homeschooling mom of 4. Currently have an 8th grader, 4th grader, kindergarten, and pre-K-er. And on this channel, I like to talk to you guys mostly about secular homeschooling, but I also share other things about our life, motherhood, and everything in between. Today's video is going to be my last video and my review for the 2023-2024 school year, so how our year went. And today I'm going to be focusing on kindergarten and pre-K. So let's dive in. So if you've missed either of the videos from 8th grade or 4th grade, those were earlier this week. I will link them here. And in a few minutes, I'll link another one. And then I'll, of course, link them down below for you guys. But today I'm going to be focusing on kindergarten. The way that I've been doing these videos is that I'm watching my curriculum pick video from earlier and telling you guys, pausing and telling you guys how it went. So here the video is going to concentrate on kindergarten. And I say in the video that my pre-K-er is going to come along for the ride. And whenever, it works, it works. She actually stuck with us for almost everything, guys. She has been a real champ. She loves to learn. And so, yeah, so this ended up being really kind of like a combined year for them. There were some concepts that she didn't maybe quite understand, and I didn't hold her to the same standards that I held my kindergartner because she is 2 years younger than him. And so they weren't held to the same standards, but she came along for most of it. So let's dive into what I said I was going to use, and I'll share what actually happened. Diving right in, the first thing that we have already been using is Math with Confidence by Kate Snow. So we are using the kindergarten level. He is a few lessons in already, and we are really, 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 really loving it. So with both of his older sisters, we used Primer from Matthew C. So I did go ahead and pick up a new workbook for this because they had used the other one. And so I did pick this up. We may or may not use it. All right, Math with Confidence went great. I have a review, I'll post that here, that I did like halfway through the year about how like we were liking it and how things were going. In that video, you can see that it was a great positive review. He did get to a point where like he wasn't ready to move on, and so we needed like some extra help and some extra review. I pulled out my Matthew C. primer. We started working on that, and that went really well. They kind of line up pretty well. I talk about that, I think, in that video or in another one. I'll link it if it's separate. I think it is separate, so I'll link it. But that went really well. We liked using both of those programs. Math with Confidence is great. We are going to continue using that. So that went super well for us. Moving on to reading, we of course will be using, I didn't get the book, hold on. So of course we'll be using Pinwheels. You guys know I love it. I love it so, so much. It has worked so, so well for his older sister. And so we are definitely going to be using this with him. We've already started using it. We're a few lessons in, and he really likes it. And so of course we'll be continuing that. All right, so no spoilers here. You guys know we love it. We have been I used Pinwheels with my middle daughter. It went so well. We've been using it with my younger two, and it's going great. Like my pre-K-er is even keeping up pretty well. She has a harder time remembering the sound, so she's not as far into like the blending process as my son is. But it went really well. We didn't do as much school this year as we should have, as much as I hoped to. So we're not quite as far into where I wanted to be, but we are going to keep doing that. I'm not going to stop the Pinwheels program or the math program with my littles through the summer. They're going to keep going because they don't really do as much of the extra stuff that I want my older girls to do. If you watched my 8th grade and 4th grade videos, I chatted about that a little bit. But so they're going to just keep going through the summer. And so I'm hoping to at least get through the year one. I think year one is split into 2 books, if I remember correctly. So I I'm hoping, maybe not, I don't remember. I'm hoping we can get as far into this as we can before we start our new year. But it went super well, of course. I have many videos. I'll link the playlist here on pinwheels. I love pinwheels, and it's just perfect, and it works super well. But I also picked up last year the Dash into Learning. So I have all 3 of the reading sets. The sets come with 10 books and a teacher guide. So I have all 3 of those sets. And then I also had picked up Dash into Poetry and Dash into Happy, which is the socio emotional learning. All right, I'm just going to pause this here and say we didn't use any of that Dash into Learning program. I bought everything. I have the whole thing, and we still haven't touched it, which I hate, because I think it's so beautiful and so wonderful. And so I'm hoping that next year we're going to pull this out. I just feel like he wasn't quite ready yet. He's not to the point of like, he doesn't know all of his letter sounds, and he just hasn't been ready yet. And it's okay. Like, I'm a big proponent of let your child learn to read when they learn to read. My experience with my first daughter was horrid when I pushed her, and as soon as I stopped pushing her, she learned all on her own. And so I'm a big proponent of they will learn to read when they learn to read. I don't start worrying about it until 7. He's not 7 yet. So if he picks, he's doing so much better, and I think he's going to pick it up here pretty soon. So I'm not worried about it, and I'm not pushing it. So, but I haven't gotten to this Dash into Learning program because I just felt like he hasn't been quite ready for it yet. And so hopefully we will get to it very soon. When I do, I will, of course, share an update with you guys. And then probably the last thing that we'll do on a regular, semi-regular basis is the quill program from Brave Writer, because we only made it through about 4 guides last year, so I have guides left over. Okay, spoiler alert, we only used 1 more. We just have not been getting to as much school as I had hoped to. It just hasn't been our year. And so we finished 1 more guide, and that was it for the school year. Maybe I'll pick these up over the summer again if I feel like it, if I feel like we have time. But the great thing about them is they're for a large age range, and so I can keep using them even though I have a few guides left over. Highly recommend this Brave Writer quill program. I think it was wonderful. The guides that we've done, my kids have loved. Everything has been great about it. So I highly recommend them. We just didn't necessarily have the time to get to them this year, but I would absolutely use them when we do, and I will probably use them again next year. So the next few things I'm going to talk about are things he's going to do very infrequently, very informally, along with his older sisters. So these are not necessarily things I would recommend for somebody who's just doing kindergarten with their kiddos, but it is things that he might join in on and with us when we're working on them. So we are going to be using Curiosity Chronicles for history. So when we are working on lessons that he wants to be involved in, I'm going to allow him to be involved in those, or ask him if he wants to join us. This one, I think he'll probably join in more often than not. We will be doing layers of learning art beginnings, and I think he'll really enjoy this. So he'll probably be joining in on these lessons pretty frequently. So we have that, and lastly, the science chunks. So, okay, he didn't come along with any of this. I think so we didn't really get to a lot of the Curiosity Chronicles. If you watched my videos Monday and Wednesday, you'll see that we didn't really get through much of the Curiosity Chronicles at all. So he didn't come along for that, obviously. But he did do a few of the science experiments from the science chunks. I'm not going to finish the rest of this video because I think I'm just talking about all that stuff. So I'm just going to kind of glance over what I talked about. He did do a few of those science chunks activities with us, but he took co-op classes. So he had a solar system class, and he had a animal science class, and he had some art classes, and he had a lot of classes that he did at co-op where he was doing lots of learning over there. And so I just, we focused on basically on math and language arts here at home, and of course we do readings, we read books, and we continue to use that shape books and number books and color books to kind of keep brushing up on all of that. And it was a really good year. He learned a lot. My younger daughter learned a lot. It just went really, really well. And so it just goes to show you that you don't need a lot to make learning fun. Now there was quite a bit of learning that happened at co-op. I'm not sharing that here. But he learned about life cycles. He learned about all kinds of things. So I kind of let that co-op be my math or not math, my science and enrichment. You know, I just kind of let that happen over there. And we focused mainly on math and language arts here. And it just was a good year. We had you know, they've progressed so much. They've learned so much, and we had a lot of fun. I think especially in those younger years, it's important to you know, make learning exciting and fun and easy, and not really, you know, make it too hard and challenging. I did that with my oldest. You know, I pushed her to have all the things and do all the things, and it wasn't very conducive to having a happy homeschool. And so I allow my younger ones to kind of learn more through play, and you know, they're constantly building, and we have lots of educational toys. My son got really super into like Electro Boom, that YouTube channel. He and his dad watch a lot of those videos, and so like they broke out the snap circuits and learned a lot about that, and like, you know, so just keeping learning, like, you know, very go with the flow. You know, it happens as it happens. He has learned how to do chores this year. He's starting to learn to do cooking because he's really into that. So just kind of like letting him do those things is just how we like to roll around here now. I'm a lot more relaxed in my 9th year of homeschooling than I was in my 1st year of homeschooling, and he is reaping the benefit of that. So I think that is kind of it that we covered. If I missed anything, let me know down in the comments. While you're down there, I would love it if you would hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and give this video a thumbs up. If you have any other questions for me, I'm happy to answer them either down in the comments or over on Instagram at Homeschool-ology. And I hope you will come back and chat with me again real soon. If you missed the 8th grade or 4th grade videos, I will link them down below as well. And I hope you'll come back and chat with me again. I'll talk to you soon. Bye. So this one, it really depends on where your child is at, if they're going to understand the concept. Extra and gravy. We are also doing 2 family study units, probably one before Christmas and one after Christmas, but we are going to be using Winnie the Pooh and Beatrix Potter's books to do like little family style learning. So we'll be reading the books together, we'll be doing activities together, we'll be making projects together as a whole family of all of my 8th, 4th, kindergarten, and preschool, because they're young. They don't need to be spending a whole ton of time